I think everyone was so mad.
Apparently the show was not supposed to have any theories in it.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was a theory-free show.
Oh.
Like, they were trying to make the first episode not have any theories. You created a lot of theories.
There are a lot of theories. Yeah.
A lot of theories. Like, you can't pass that up. Like, I feel like Marvel is taking a huge step with introducing U.S. agents so early. I feel like they should have done it in the middle of the show. So we can get more character development for Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It makes sense to me because it's kind of like a driving action force because it gives Sam kind of like a motivation because he did give up the shield. He gave it up so it would be less of a symbol, and I mean because the Captain America he left really big shoes to fill, literally and figuratively, because Captain America was such a role model and icon and figurehead for MCU America, so
Agreed.
It makes sense that that's like one of the main plot driving things. But
I mean, I just think there should have been more, and
because there's so much going on at once. Like you have that terrorist group, and then you have the new Captain America in quotations, and then they have Sam and his family, and all this stuff.
And then you have Bucky trying to get rid of all of his...
To make amends. And
his way of amends. And I think he's going to break.
I hope he doesn't, but I feel like
I think he might once... Not into, the Hydra mode, but I feel like he's going to break when he finds out the shield's missing, and he's, it's, gone. He's probably going to go up to Sam and be like, where the heck is the shield? What did you do with the shield?
I don't think it's missing. I don't think that's what's gonna go down. I feel like when they're in the middle of a fight or something, or when they run into Zemo again, he's gonna have a mental breakdown. I don't think he's gonna go back to.
I forgot about Zemo.
I don't think he'll revert back to Winter Soldier mode, but I think he's gonna have some sort of because he's repressing a lot of things right now.
I thought Zemo killed himself.
That's what it made it look like, but he's not. Unless it's someone who's related to him, because in the trailers it shows that was one of the.
It does show him.
That was one of the main trailer scenes.
Yeah, that's right. I think Black Panther? T'Challa. I think he was talking to Zemo if I remember correctly, he was talking to him at the very, very end of. Or was that just in my imagination where he was trying?
I don't remember that.
Ugh. I think that was a scene. I don't remember.
I don't think he would.
T'Challa would. Because he was the key of forgiveness. He was... Yes, he wanted revenge on his father, but he was also one to forgive. And he showed that with Bucky. As it was believed that he did kill his father. But that's... Oh. I didn't think about Zemo. I totally forgot he was on the trailer. That just blew my mind.
Another trailer that came out was the Loki trailer, I think.
Oh my God.
Did it come out? It came out, right?
Yeah. Owen Wilson's in it.
Yeah, I saw that. That's cool.
I want to see what they're going to do with him. I mean, I'm glad they didn't leave Loki as a dead man. Because he died at the very beginning of Endgame. And I feel like he could have been a huge asset if he was in Endgame. He's kind of like an anti-hero sort of thing.
He is an anti-hero.
That's Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is a anti-hero too. So I want to see what they're going to do with him. I know they're putting... Oh, you know what? It's probably with him in the Tesseract at the very end.
That's
it's
alternate universe Loki. It's not current universe Loki. It's the other one. Yeah,
it's not... I think our universe... The Marvel Cinematic Universe is 616. I don't remember. But that... I thought so. And I was watching the trailer and I was like, love Owen Wilson. Love Tom. Hiddleston. Literally. Amazing actor. He kind of reminds me of I know this seems weird, but he kind of reminds me of, oh my gosh, Johnny Depp. Because he can always form into a character very quickly. And Johnny Depp does that.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think they're going to bring alternate Loki into the new Thor movie? Or Love is Thunder? Actually,
I don't think that they will. Because, I mean, they might, but at the same time,
You don't know?
know if I'd like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not excited for this new Thor movie. Is that just me?
I mean, Thor's not really my favorite, which is kind of
love Chris Hemsworth.
Embarrassing to admit, but Thor isn't my favorite Avenger. I did like Ragnarok Thor, but even watching the original Thor, I was not a big fan of Thor because I couldn't stand his personality.
It was arrogant, and then you learn that he, through, because he's in several movies throughout the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
He's in so many.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with Doctor Strange. He's in Doctor Strange is in the Thor one, and it's just insane how they connect them, especially with now bringing back Natalie Portman. There was huge controversy.
I don't know if I like that either. I didn't like her character that much.
Me either.
Honestly, I didn't like her character that much.
So, there's huge controversy about her because why she left the Thor movies in the first place is because she said they were too sexist. And I said, they made you a scientist who is probably equivalent to a Bruce Banner in Thor's case. You are the Bruce Banner of the Thor movies. Mm-hmm. And now she just came back and signed a contract for Marvel because that she's now becoming a superhero.
I know it's in the comics, but it doesn't make sense to me. I think if anyone's going to become a female Thor, it should be Valkyrie. Because I think that she deserves it more than, if they're going to give someone the hammer or Stormbreaker, give it to Valkyrie.
Valkyrie would be the only one that
in my opinion, is one who deserves it.
And the same thing, they also had another character who was also as equivalent to a Valkyrie, but she wasn't a Valkyrie because she was a goddess.
Mm-hmm.
It is Sif. Sif was in the two beginning ones and in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
What happened to Sif?
Exactly.
Okay.
Where'd she go? She is an amazing... She was called the Goddess of War, and her brother was actually Heimdall in the comics. They didn't make it in the movies, but in the comics, she was the person who got the hammer and then gave it to Jane Foster before. And then it would go on to several characters. Mm-hmm. And I was really upset to see that they didn't do more with Sif.
Yeah.
Because she was not just a love interest for Thor. Mm-hmm. She was the main love interest for Thor. Mm-hmm. And they didn't do anything with it. And in the comics, they get married and they have a kid. And that creates the Young Avengers, which we go on to Wiccan and Tommy, who we see in WandaVision. So I'm kind of upset that they didn't do more with that. And I'm not a big fan of Natalie Portman.
I think she's had some good movies, and I do enjoy her work most of the time. I think I'm not excited to see her in this role, but I mean, I'm not super excited for Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm not unexcited for it because I do like Taika's style, I think, and he did a really good job with Ragnarok. That's one of my favorite Marvel movies, a comfort movie type thing. Mm-hmm. So I am anticipating that this will go well, but I'm not sure how much I will like it.
Same. Okay.
Honestly,
we're kind of in the same boat. I just wish they didn't. There's so much they could have done with Thor, and I'm so glad they tried to bring it back with Thor Ragnarok, saying we are going by some of the comics. Mm-hmm. But it was just not, in my case, it wasn't enough because there's so much more you could have done with the storyline, and you took that route where it is just not where it should be with Thor and Thor's case. And with that, there also isn't there like a third Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes,
or is it fourth?
I don't think that they're filming it yet, but I do know that Chris Pratt was on the set for the new Thor movie, because I think Thor's going to go off with the Guardians, obviously. That's what happened in Endgame. So I think there'll be a main component of that, and then it'll connect to the next Guardians movie.
Yeah. And I think that's going to go into Captain Marvel.
Maybe.
Not a huge fan.
I liked her solo movie. I didn't like her personality in Endgame, but it's because they filmed her Endgame scenes before her movie, so she didn't really have a personality yet, so they didn't flesh out her character well enough until after they filmed, which I thought was very unwise, because I was honestly kind of excited to see her in Endgame after I watched the movie, because her movie wasn't great, but I think at least she had a personality, and then we got to Endgame and she had no personality. So.
What kind of made me mad is that the whole Avengers team is known for being like a family, and like to work together to figure this out, and she was just trying to do it one-on-one, and like because she in the comics she's not that powerful. She's actually not that powerful. She has this other thing called the binary, and she only brings that out like if she's going against like a bigger like galaxy than not just Thanos. It's a whole different thing. And when seeing her kind of act like Miss Nonchalant with the Avengers, everybody was like, okay, well now I don't like her, because she's using, like, she's not being a part of the team. She's being like this person of, I don't wanna like, you can't do it, so I'm gonna do it for you.
I think that's what happens though when you introduce a new person to a team, because she has that kind of like, she's not a rookie though because she's experienced in space, but she just doesn't get how things operate in this area on Earth. So I think it kind of makes sense, but it's at the same time, it was kind of annoying.
Yeah. Cause she was like, I'm gonna go beat Thanos.
And the fact that they did that I didn't like that from Endgame, when they were like, okay, we're gonna go beat him up, and it was like that easy. I don't know.
So I think why they did that is because they wanted to take a trip down memory lane of what they've accomplished throughout the times. And like because Nat even said there were 3 stones in New York City at the time, or like in the US at the time. And it's just insane to see them go back in time and be like, oh my gosh, they were, because nobody put that together until Nat said it.
Yeah.
And when like the whole like the blip, and like I love Rocket. Rocket even said something to Captain Marvel saying, "You're gonna get another haircut." Like, what an amazing line. But when she said she was gonna go kill Thanos and they all just looked at her, that was too soon. I feel like they should have built up. They could have built more into her character personally. Yeah. Like they could have built more to see.
A lot of it was. I don't know if you would call it subtext or just implications, but like I know that 5 years that they got to know each other better, but I wish they'd shown a little bit of that because it seemed kind of sudden to a lot of people, and so that made room for a lot of negative comments and hate.
Yeah.
Because you can't fully rely on, it happened off screen.
Yeah. I feel like that should be a show.
That's what I was going to say. They need a show for the 5 years and what happened. Yeah. And they need a Rhodey show, a War Machine show, because he was supposed to be vice president, and I want to know more about that.
Yeah, like
I want to know more about Natasha's orphanage that she, I want to know about that.
Yeah. Yes. I think they should definitely make a Nat movie, and maybe we'll see more of Yelena Belova, because she's a villain. She's an anti-hero.
Well,
same with Red Guardian.
Really know what they're gonna do in the movie yet because they haven't seen it, and they like to change things. And I mean, it's annoying when things aren't similar to the books, or the comics in this case. Yeah. But I think it's kind of cool because at this point there are connections, but you don't know exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, and if Yelena does die in the movie, they could have done so much more with her story.
They keep killing off, like in Thor Ragnarok with Hela, like they killed her so quickly, and it was like, okay.
She could have had a great movie.
She could have done more, but okay.
You know who else could have had a good movie?
Quicksilver.
Oh yeah, could have had an amazing movie. Because he
was wasted, I think.
His character was wasted. He should have had more. And with WandaVision, they could have done a Quicksilver movie because he gets married, and that's how they could have brought in a new species too.
Or they could have said, oh hey, so they could have introduced the whole multiverse thing because they brought Evan Peters in, and they could have been like, oh, well, Wanda accidentally summoned Quicksilver from a different universe, and then they could have introduced the multiverse, and they didn't do that. Or they could have brought in John Krasinski as the specialist that people were excited about that, and that didn't happen. It was very disappointing.
It's very disappointing to see because so many characters are wasted, and I wanted to see more of Quicksilver and Sif and Nat. Nat was one of the first Avengers. Like, if you think about it, she was the one that was there from the beginning with... Like, she probably made a cameo in almost every movie besides the Thor movies. Also, the same with Hawkeye. What's happening with him? He's getting his own show.
I think that looks good, because... I know it's about him, but it's also mainly about Kate Bishop, and I think that's going to be a good storyline. Yeah. Because Haley Steinfeld does an amazing job in whatever she's in. So.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm excited.
I'm really excited to see Kate Bishop, because I think that's bringing in the young Avengers with Wiccan and Tommy. I think that will be... And then we might be able to get... The other, because they're also doing What Ifs. The Marvel What If show. Have you seen that?
I haven't. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a lot with that. Like, where Nat and Steve actually do have a relationship. I think that's going to be a What If. Another What If is, like, what if T'Challa picked up the hammer instead of Steve. Like, I think there's a bunch of what ifs. And I love to see it, but like, you could have put that in the movie and had like a bigger cinematic universe to show how much you've lost.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you're looking at all of the stones and everything, like, we see that in Guardians of Galaxy, which we get, like, a whole new, like, humor side of, like, space is just basically humorous, because that is where Thor, he got his sense of humor and he got his charm. And that's where Peter Quill, that's where he was, like, he had his own, like, music, and he was dancing around while going to get the Power Stone. And when they come back to Earth, it's not the same, and you can see that, and it's so funny because they're like, oh, I'm not used to this, especially with the humor with them in the donut ship, like he was like, and when Peter was like, oh, I'm Spider-Man, then we're using made up names, and because he didn't know, and then when he was like, I'm from Missouri, and then he goes, you're from Earth. Like, the humor came out at the very ends of all of the movies, and it's so funny to see because you know how much they love the characters and they want to make them have more of a personality. So that's what I think.
Yep. I'm very excited to see what Marvel's doing and will continue to do in the next few months, and even in the next few years.
And weeks.
In weeks, too, because...
We have Winter Soldier, and then we have Loki coming in June.
Yeah. There's a whole... Someone did calculations or whatever. They mapped out the calendar, and so we won't have a week where we don't have Marvel content the rest of this year. Like every week, whether it's like insider information or if it's like behind the scenes, we won't have a week without Marvel content.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because in May we get Nat.
So between Winter Soldier and Loki, we'll have the Black Widow movie, and then for the rest of the year, just a lineup of stuff.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We also get the Shang-Li movie, the multiverse Doctor Strange movie.
I think the Eternals is coming out, but I'm not 100%
Oh
on
my
that.
gosh. Yeah.
Maybe it's next year. I think it's next year.
Forgot about Eternals. And then the new Captain Marvel movie. Honestly, nowadays I'm forgetting all of the Marvel lineup because there's so
We're kind of overwhelmed with stuff, which is great because we had very limited content.
Because we had to wait a year for Endgame.
Yeah, and everything.
Did you hear about the people making their kids watch Infinity War and then wait a year for Endgame? I was like, I'm going to do that with my kids.
I would do that with my kids too.
Because I had to wait so long for Infinity War. Like, you can watch Infinity War, but you made me wait for Endgame. Yeah, no, I'm watching it a year later. You're watching it a year later. Like, I had to wait, you have to wait. That's probably it.
Yep. Okay, so that's all for this episode. See you next time.